Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I forgot how much bullshit can change during the NFL cut weekend. Perna. I mean, news changed faster than Bruce Jenner. I mean, news dropped faster than Bruce Smith dropping, not quarterbacks, but dropping to the floor on TNT back in the day.
Defensive end, so.
We're talking about the quarterback situation and with Kurt Warner. How about the Buffalo Bills quarterback situation? Obviously, Flutie was your guy at the start of the season, and Flutie was the start of the season.
Apparently Smith has the flu and was a bit dehydrated.
Michael Goldfarb posted that to Twitter. He's a producer at ESPN if you want to put in a good word. But that was anchor Trev Albert, who just continues to read the broadcast after Bruce Smith passes out instead of, helping him. Which made me realize if I ever pass out here, there will be nobody to keep talking like nothing happened. Just a voiceover I would edit in later. Fake passing out's a little harder than it looks. Today on That's Good Sports, Brian Hoyer signs with the Indy Colts. Will Shady McCoy be good in Kansas City? And Nate Burleson drops a song for NFL 100, plus other shit. That's right. If I'm ever an actor, I will definitely need a stunt double, because that was scary. Please sub to this YouTube channel for continued football coverage. Today's episode is sponsored by MyBookie. For all of your sports betting needs this season, go to MyBookie and use my promo code ThatsGood or the link in the description, and they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. Football season is here, so if you're into making the games interesting, do it at one of the world's leading sports betting providers. MyBookie has live in-game betting on every NFL game. They've got the most rewarding player perks in the business, and for you fantasy guys out there, you can even bet the over-under on how many fantasy points a player will score each game. Again, use my link in the description or my promo code ThatsGood while creating your account at MyBookie, and they will double your first deposit. If you listened to my podcast, then you learned in the last episode that former running back Larry Johnson thinks NFL executives are trying to brainwash all of us into complacently living an effeminate lifestyle. That is 100% true. Check out his Twitter account if you don't believe me. But I'm starting to think Larry might have a point after reading this headline. Bucs coach Bruce Arians driven by a lifelong desire to please two men. Okay, Larry, you got my attention. And Bruce, a lifelong desire to please two men? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I have referenced 3 Bruces in the first 5 minutes of this episode, so tell me what that means, Larry. Okay, moving on to corrections. In the last episode, I made some mistakes and had news that became irrelevant as soon as I uploaded the video. Unlike a Texans GM, though, I am willing to admit when I make a mistake. First, LeSean McCoy signed with the Kansas City Chiefs literally 10 minutes after my video went live. And I should have listened to my gut, just like Andy Reid would have advised. When I found this photo of McCoy and Reid, I was going to guarantee that McCoy went to the Chiefs. Instead, I took the coward's way out and said nothing, like a true Colin coward. Now, many people are poo-pooing on the signing of a 1-year, $4 million deal for McCoy. As an AFC West resident, I am not poo-pooing on it. Andy Reid loves LeSean McCoy, and McCoy knows how to play in Andy Reid's offense. Shady had a down year in 2018, but playing with Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense after leaving Buffalo with what Football Outsiders graded as the 30th worst offensive line in football is like going to bed with Eli Manning's body and then waking up with The Rock's legs the day you have to kick Daniel Jones out of the starting job and challenge Saquon Barkley for the rushing title. Honestly though, who would you kill first if you had to eat their legs for survival? Saquon Barkley or The Rock? Until this point, I have never looked at another man and felt hungry. LeSean McCoy is getting an upgrade with run blocking, a massive upgrade at quarterback play, and a better play caller in Andy Reid. Plus, people forget McCoy cracked his rib cartilage week 2 last season, suffered a concussion in October, and a hamstring injury in December. If he can stay healthy, which is a big if at his age, then he went to the best place in the NFL for him to be successful this season. And I hate fucking saying that as a Broncos fan. The other massive screw up I made, because again, I have nobody checking my work, just like Bruce Smith had nobody checking on him to see if he was alive on national television, was my words saying Kiko Alonso had been cut. Because I read an article that said Kiko Alonso had been cut, but he was not cut, and in fact traded to the Saints from the Dolphins. I apologize for saying Kiko was cut when I see an article that says, as expected, Dolphins cut veteran linebacker Kiko Alonso. Not sure what's worse though, a completely wrong article or Deadspin referring to the Saints for Bountygate with Alonso heading that way. Bountygate ended in 2011, Deadspin, so trying to pitch that as a concern is fucking garbage. For as much shit as you give Barstool Sports, you might want to look in the mirror, wipe away the fog from the shower, and reveal a slightly different type of douche. Brian Hoyer, the big news, signs with the Colts, which means unfortunately that Brock Osweiler is still a free agent. And also that the Patriots are confident enough for Jared Stidham to be their only backup quarterback. A job that pays well but does not include the keys to the TB12 facility. The Colts refused to pay anyone this offseason, even though they had more cap room than any other team. And now they're giving Brian Hoyer, the worst playoff quarterback I have ever seen, $12 million on a 3-year deal. Brian Hoyer will back up Jacoby Brissett, who just signed a new 2-year extension worth $30 million with $20 million guaranteed. That news, a little bit surprising. Nate Burleson, my second favorite part of Good Morning Football, released an NFL 100 song.
Sweetness to Le'Veon, Johnny, you the Elway. This year we keeping it 100, the NFL way.
If you think it sounds like a Will Smith pop rap tune, as the urban youth say, you're right.
Every moment is meant to be. We've been balling every year for a century.
If you're wondering why the NFL wouldn't pay Will Smith to do it, need I remind you he starred in the biggest knock to the NFL in cinematic history, the movie Concussion, which pushed draft day to the number 2 spot.
You missed last season, I feel bad for you, son. We had 99 seasons, so let's add one.
And now we know the real reason the NFL partnered with Jay-Z, so they didn't have to pay for his lyrics. Well, here's some lyrics you can have for free, NFL, because I noticed some glaring omissions from your song in the history of the league. Sorry, I just need to channel my inner Cole Beasley and Mom Spaghetti.
From 1920 to 2019.
Let's do it. 1920 to 2019, O.J. Simpson got acquitted because Mark Fuhrman's on the scene. Don't take my word for it, just go to the tape. 18 years is what Darren Sharper's doing for rape. The 100th season is gonna be fire, fueled by propane, like the Cowboys in the 90s with that cocaine. This song is referencing everything from Dolphins running back Larry Zonka to the Vikings orgy cruise on Lake Minnetonka. Robert Kraft had his prostate milked. Ray Lewis got a guy killed. Larry Johnson is on Twitter saying football is gay. Michael Vick in the streets roaming for a stray. Roaming for a stray. Roaming for a stray. Stray. Plaxico Burress hates his own leg. NFL 100 starts today. Oh! That's why they don't let me on the mic. That's why they don't let me on the mic. And the New York Jets have hired Hines Ward as offensive assistant. The only Super Bowl MVP in the Jets facility that hasn't sexually harassed Suzy Kolber on live television. I also learned that the Texans were so desperate that they agreed to pay close to half of Jadeveon Clowney's salary in Seattle this year. The Seahawks are paying a premier pass rusher $1 million more than the Texans are for that pass rusher to not be on their team. I thought I was being too hard on the Texans because by the end of the day, they ended up filling their biggest need at left tackle. Turns out they are dumber than the dumbest I thought they could be. This is the same team that paid the Browns to take Brock Osweiler off their hands, so I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise to us. And it's starting to feel like the Seahawks won cut day. They added Jadeveon Clowney and the Jets' third-round pick in the most recent draft, Ja'Kai Polite, to their practice squad. The Jets cut Ja'Kai Polite after repeated offenses of being late this training camp. Looks like those idiots should have drafted Ja'Kai Punctual. The Patriots did cut Demaryius Thomas. Then they moved rookie wide receiver N'Keal Harry onto IR and brought DT back. Is this just revenge for Wes Welker, New England? Probably, but that was just revenge for Josh McDaniels, which was just revenge for Champ Bailey. So, I guess it's the Broncos' move now. I was always bad at revenge. Never fully understood it, especially revenge porn, which I just thought was watching porn with guys in it who looked like you. Speaking of porn, the only time you want to go bust to bust in the NFL is at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But the Vikings did just that, bringing in Josh Doctson to replace Laquon Treadwell, although you could argue Doctson played his best football with Kirk Cousins, so who knows? This silly mess we're getting into is crazy. Head coach Brian Flores of the Dolphins insisted that Miami is not tanking despite trading Laramie Tunsil and Kiko Alonso. And that is it. That is the joke. Paxton Lynch was cut by Seattle, received some interest from the Cowboys, the team that wanted to draft him back in 2016. I'm not sure if Jerry Jones has actually ever watched Paxton Lynch play football once in the NFL, or if he just likes the idea of a pirate cowboy. And honestly, so do I. Also, Jags linebacker Myles Jack asked that Ian Rappaport never report on him again. Myles Jack, officially Team Schefter, only wanting Schefter to report on him for the rest of his career, because Ian Rappaport also stated that Jack was the highest paid linebacker without ever making a Pro Bowl. To be fair, with the Pro Bowl being held in Orlando, does a guy who plays in Florida have any incentive to even try and make it to the least watched event in the NFL? No, and I am currently going through old That's Good Sports episodes to make sure I have never said anything negative about Myles Jack. I also stopped trying to keep up with the Ezekiel Elliott and Dallas Cowboys contract talks. Scooter Magruder's tweet summed this up better than I ever could. And the other running back, Melvin Gordon, is free to seek trade offers, but the Chargers have stated he will play this season under his current contract or not at all, and they will resume negotiations only in 2020. The Texans would have been a great fit for Melvin Gordon, but they have nothing left to trade. No draft picks, no money, no dignity, not even the opportunity for Melvin Gordon to play on the most popular football team in the state in which he plays. So, if I had to guess, Melvin Gordon will end up in Tampa Bay, but only if he wants to play for pure pleasure. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm doing football videos every week, all week, until I fucking die of exhaustion. And you can reward that effort by subscribing here. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna if you want to talk football there, and make sure you follow at WillKey6, my writing partner. We do it.